please help me welcome Vivien Mangalindan.
There you go. I'm seeing people there in the room. Hello there. And if you see this background, I live here. That's my city. It's called Makati, Central Business District in Manila, Philippines. Yes, and my country is composed of 7,100 islands, depending on high tide or low tide. Okay, there you go. And I have the good fortune of having a co-host today. If you can look at the gallery, do you all know how to set your screen to gallery? Upper right hand, it says view, go on gallery. I want you to see everybody and see their reactions. Today is not going to be the usual lecture. No, I don't want to do lectures. I'm going to be talking about what you saw in the website. Candid conversations. Candid conversations? Well, let me ask you, those of you who know me, I've asked you, everybody in the room there and everybody in my Zoom room, 24 hours a day, regardless where we are in the world. If you're lucky to sleep 8 hours, you have, do the math, 16 hours. Now, who in this district has a prepared speech that is 16 hours long? Hand up, put up. It's not gonna happen. So that's what life's all about. I want to know if you agree, disagree, or have absolutely violent reactions to what I'm saying. Life is nothing but a series of candid conversations. And there are benefits to that. Oh no, Vivian's gonna talk about benefits. She's gonna do a lecture. Nah. I never said, let me tell you 3 things. Don't do that in social circumstances. You'll never get invited. You slide in the 3 things, but you never say, let me tell you 3 things. Adds wrinkles when I do that. So, no, I slide it in. You know where it's best to have candid conversations? You have to think back. Remember your first date? For some of us, because I'm a senior citizen, that's a little bit farther back. No matter what we prepared, no matter what we thought we were gonna say, give me a break. Didn't happen, right? You had those up lines and you had those closing lines, and all you did that whole evening was deal with it. The best place to use candid conversations on a first date, or if you're working in a job interview. Notice I have put in 2 points. And the most important one, where you really need to know how to do candid conversations, is when you're going to meet for the first time your future mother-in-law. Hard. I can see some faces. Like, just think, you're gonna bring a prepared speech to meet your future mother-in-law. Maybe not afraid of the boss, be very afraid of the mother-in-law. All right, let me ask you, and you're free to turn on your mics and talk. Here's a good one. With me. Have a conversation with me. And Curtis and I had an interesting little snippet of information that we exchanged. He said, oh, we're gonna talk to each other. I said, no. He said, no? I said, no. I said, oh, why? Many people say we talk to each other. Grammarian, talk to. Remember? Point A to point B. That is great for a prepared speech. And most people, in their excitement, in their endeavor, in their desire to deliver, talk at the people, I am going to tell you three things. Remember, steeple, look to the right, look to the left, look and nod. Don't do that. Just talk with people. Like when you were with your best friend. Think farther back. Yesterday, last year, 5 years ago, back in college, back in high school, back in elementary, and back in kindergarten. You remember what it was like having conversations with your best friend ever? You could just talk forever. You didn't do research. You didn't worry about introduction, closing, 3 points. That is well and good. But today we're going to focus on candid conversations. Like when I go to the supermarket, red apples look like red apples. But I know the merchandiser knows which one was placed there early today and which one was sort of from yesterday. That's where Toastmasters skills come in. Because most of us would just pick what's in front of us. I made friends with the merchandiser. So much so that I would go up to him and say, where's the one you just put in today? And he goes, shh, do your thing, do the rounds, tell me how many you want, and come back. See how practical candid conversations are? Now, remember, quick review. Do you talk to? Do you talk at? Or do you talk with?
Talk with.
That's what candid conversations are made of. It's instantly, quickly, and lovingly building relationships. Relationships. Ay, 4 syllables. Don't do that in conversations. Too long. It's also hard to spell. Okay. I use 1 syllable. Build bridges. I would like to inspire you. Every day, think. Just one person. If you can have a quota for yourself at the end of the day, you can think, who is the one person I was able to build a bridge with? And the biggest clue I'll give you is change the word but, B-U-T, and put a big red cross on top of the word but, even in your mind, use the word and. The first time I heard that, I said, what? If you're having an argument, you'll say and? Doesn't that mean you're agreeing? Okay. If anyone can raise his or her hand, I will give you a clue on why it's important. Does anyone want to know why it's good to say and instead of but? I gotta have. Any hands up? Okay, great. When someone says something, what is the first? Usually, the first answer we have, no, but you see, you know that. The first is, ow, ow, ow. No, but. Body language. When someone's saying something that you don't agree with and that you have violent reactions to, remember, I'm a TV host, right? The face talks before the mouth does. A lot of people, when they don't agree, what do they say? Ay, problem. I have an official statement for that. Your face is so loud, I can't hear what you're saying. And that's how you lose an argument. So you're going to have a plain face. You go like this. Yeah. And let me share something with you. Notice, yes, and. The moment you say no, it builds a wall. and the person doesn't like you. Person dislikes you, and after a while might actually hate you because the person felt insulted in some form. But when someone disagrees, let me ask you, how would you feel if I told you, yes, and may I share? And if you listen and watch a lot of my shows, TV and radio, my favorite line is, correct me if I'm wrong. It takes a lot of courage to say that, but give them, because they love to correct you. They love to say you're wrong. So I only tell them, correct me if I'm wrong. Nick, you're laughing, right? And when they do correct you, do not argue. Why am I telling you that? Let me fix my eyeglasses because people see me on cam. I have called in and phoned in from all around the world. I've been doing that since 2009. So you think those are all live, and it was a legal show, live. This to me was classic, the worst ever, and I would like every Toastmaster to learn how to handle this. The person screamed at me. This is the landline, 2009. Each of us have a desktop. It wasn't even a laptop, desktop. And then landline, I pick up the phone. First line, male, big voice. I don't agree with anything you've said so far. This is live. Remember, the face says it all. And even if you have a poker face, if you go, see, notice those little movements are dead giveaway. That is why I tell people, record yourself all the time. It's the little things that we're not aware of. Remember, you know what you know, but you don't know what you don't know. Remember, when a grammarian and accountant tells you all the things you said, and then they say the first time you give a talk, they say, you had 42 A's. Me? I don't. And you play the recording. The moment they hit 9, they're like, stop it, I get it. Okay? Remember, quick review, yes, and if someone really says, you just, do you want to know how I answered?
Yes.
It takes quick thinking. I just looked at that screen and I said, you know what? I'm sure you have a point. I just don't know what it is because you might be brighter than me. Tell you what, let me finish my talking points for the day, and I will give you an entire segment at the end of the show. We'll spotlight you and I'll let the world hear what you've got to say. He went away. People just like to disagree, but the moment you give them the floor, and I tell them I'll give you an entire segment, it is not for the faint of heart to do live and people are allowed to disagree with you. Now, let me move forward. There are 3 kinds of people in a general category. Let me ask you, would you say you are a visual person? The one who says, I see. Are you auditory? You hear those people say, yeah, I heard you, I got it. And there's the kinesthetic. I don't like that word, kinesthetic. 4 syllables, and it's again hard to speak. The kinesthetic are the ones who want to show and tell. Don't just tell them 3 things, 300 things, and 3,000 things. They won't get it. They need a demo. They want you to walk through the entire thing with them. Yes, Nick and Ahmad know this. I am a show and tell person. Even if you show me, if you don't tell me, clueless. Even if you tell me and you don't show me, clueless. That is why, if you look at the top here in the corner, my show is called Show and Tell. Come on, that's what you did in kindergarten. Remember? First day, when you first went to school. Hi, my name's Vivien, and this is my pet rock. I mean, just think if I just said I have a pet rock, okay, but a pet rock, it doesn't bark, it doesn't bite. I don't have to feed it, and it goes to sleep by itself. So figure out first things first. Are you a visual, auditory, or kinesthetic person? Why? Because learn from my mistakes. I don't do lectures. I just do sharings. You see, to run a live show, which I've been doing since 2009, every week with total strangers, TV and radio, we have people in the tech. There's a booth with just a glass wall. We can make signals, but we can't hear each other. What happened is when I was new, and I don't mind sharing my bloopers because that's where I learned. I wasn't talking in tech language, and they weren't talking in candid conversation language. So I wrote an email because I was a new kid on the block. I thought it would be fresh if I walked into the tech room. I thought I was doing the right thing, being courteous, having the right format. The station manager went up to me when I came in for my next show a week later. He says, "Who do you think you are?" And I'm like, "Sir, excuse me?" It turns out I wasn't thinking. It was a radio station. Let me ask you, when you're on radio and you're working in radio, are you visual or are you auditory?
Auditory.
Anybody? There you go. Vivien wasn't thinking. I was thinking the way I wanted it to be. And the lesson right here and now is it's not about you. Why did I quickly learn that? He said, you know, if you want to be here and you want to be here for a long time, you do not write memos to people. And I said, oh, I thought I was documenting. And he just gently said, like I said, welcome to the station. Talk to us. Talk with us. Let's have coffee. Tell us what you need. Tell us what you want. Tell us what you didn't like. Make some wishes. Maybe we'll grant your wishes. Maybe not. Maybe you're a fit for the station. Maybe not. Why am I telling you this? Because that's how life is every day. You meet all sorts of people. Maybe at the bus stop, or but like us here, there's a taxi stand. Look to the left, look to the right, total strangers. What you say and do, it's not about you. I would like you to remember in life a little song. Don't worry, I won't sing the whole song. That works in communication. When you prepare, don't prepare it for yourself. You are not the audience. Then people say, like here, like, but I don't know who they all are. But I'm like, well, I know that they're not going to be brain surgeons here in the room. They're going to be generally people who want to learn about candid conversations. So remember, when you deliver a message, I don't use the word speech because it's so prepared. By the way, when you introduce me, you will always say, Vivien's going to give a talk. She doesn't deliver a speech. Remember, how would they like to hear it? So if they're like fashion designers or hairstylists, what do you say? So you see, choose the words, choose the stories that will build bridges to and with them. So enough about, are they visual, auditory, and kinesthetic? Kinesthetic are the people who like to hear, by the way, let me show you how. Don't use it on someone who's not kinesthetic. I tried that once. Let me show you how. And the guy looked at me. I know. Who do you think you are? Oh, all my life, I always heard, who do you think you are? And it's hammered into our brains, right? Be the best version of yourself. You know that. Allow me to give you a gift from little old me. Yes, be the best version of yourself for others. Sense? All right. And a quick review before I share more stories. When you make a point, when you make a statement, or even when you crack a joke, 55% of the message is from your body language. Remember, if I'm going to look at the camera and I'm going to tell you, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever in the world you are, I will be talking about candid conversations. It will be delightful, and I'm sure you will enjoy every minute. I noticed you sound like you're laughing. I don't believe you because this is the face of someone who's laughing out loud. Hello? Hello? No! You know that when you have Monday meetings, the boss walks in, staff, good morning. I hope you had a good weekend, like, rolling off the eyes. Okay, 55% from body language, 38% from the tone. I know that people write and edit, write and edit, write and edit, and then memorize, memorize, memorize. And then they deliver, and when they cannot remember the words, they look at the ceiling. Why? Did you write your speech there on the ceiling? Or they look at their fingernails, they look at their toes. What? That's what happens when you write for the eye. You're trying to remember what you wrote. Let me ask you something. You want to try a little trick that we do in media for people like me who think faster than we can write? Get your cell phone. Talk to yourself. This is a time you want to talk to yourself. Don't talk with yourself. You might have an argument. Don't do that. Stop. And record. After you record, don't edit, just talk. After you record, find a way to type. And you will see writing for the eye and writing for the ear are entirely different. Write for the ear. If you want to be a public speaker, if you want to have candid conversations, remember, you don't want to lecture to people. My slogan is, be entertained as you get informed. The best way to learn something is to have a good time while learning. Or is there anyone here who's a little bit different and likes people lecturing and being very, very strict? You're strange if you're like that. Okay. All right. So, 55, body language. 38, voice tone. Do not be monotone because you're going to sound like a typewriter from yesteryears during my era. Amen. So when you write, just remember, the kids know it, and we were kids once. Come on, sing with me. Who are the people in your neighborhood? That's all you have to remember. Who are you talking to, right? Now, do the math. And I'm not good at math. You're left with 7% for words. And you're like, what? After we have word of the day, it's only 7%. Well, you might want to consider this. In many clubs, they make the word of the day so, I call it discombobulation, pontification, class recitation. No one's gonna remember it by the time they leave. And for me, I don't know if my age, I really have short attention span. After 10 minutes, I can't remember the word. Let me give you a challenge. How about instead of long jargonic, oh yeah, don't do jargon, long jargonic words, Think of simple words, plain words, which are often misused. Now that, don't you think, is more useful? My favorite, hanger and hanger. Yeah, hanger for the clothes, hanger for the airplane. Please don't interchange when you write. They're not spelled in the same manner, but that's funny for your word of the day, hanger and hanger. Right. So, quick review, 55, 38, 7. I hope you can write that there somewhere. The lessons you've learned so far, what is it? Be entertained as you get informed. When you're trying to tell people something, make sure it builds a bridge. Make sure they're enjoying it. Why? Who wants to suffer through learning? If there's anyone in the room here who wants to suffer, I don't know how we're going to be friends. Because if we go out to dinner and I make the fatal mistake of going with you, that is the last time I'll go with you because it will be the last suffer. Sorry. So always remember, it's not about you. Now, there are some tricks that we use in media, which I'd love to share with you. We were trained. Remember, our parents, make sure you always give the right answer so they know you're bright. And I'm like, why? Why? I don't get it. I just want to tell people how I feel. I don't need to be bright. I can just go to my best friend and say, I'm sad today. What prepared speech do I need for that? The reason I'm sharing candid conversations, it's really from the heart, not from the mind. Amidst the pandemic, was our emotions kind of suffered, right? I would like to encourage all of you to have more candid conversations. Speaking for myself, see my background? It's nice because I live in one of those buildings, but I live alone in one of the boxes in one of the buildings. You think anyone's gonna want to talk to me if I keep preparing a prepared, rehearsed speech? Hello? Good morning. Good evening, Stacy. I'm so glad that you allowed me to be in your meeting. Don't come back. It's all about making friends and building relationships. Again, back to my trick. You don't have to have the right answers. What you want is, please, let's do this in all the meetings of all the clubs. Have the right questions. Now, my favorite friends. I'm seeing here Ahmad. I'm seeing Nick. I'm seeing Stacy. Let me ask you. In table topics, you want to have the right answer. Let me turn it around and I will turn all of you into talk show hosts. You deliver the statement for table topics and then ask the person to ask a question related to what you just said. Because that's what makes you an interesting person. I'm a people person, obviously. I'm an extrovert, yes. You have to put a zipper here. Yeah, zip it, right? I like being with strangers. I like talking to people because after all, friends are just strangers that you haven't met yet for you and the other person to become friends. If you don't talk to strangers, how are you going to ever become friends? Huh? Think about that. They don't teach common sense in school, do they?
No.
No. I want to challenge Toastmasters to join me in my wish and my dream as a senior citizen. Can you please set up a common sense academy, please? Please. Can we launch it tonight? Because common sense is what kids had before they went to school. We were all bright until we went to school and that scary red pen started putting excess and we learned to yeah, we got afraid, right? But here, write this down. These are the tricks that media uses. 5 W's and 1 H. And any kid and any oldie or older than me can remember. Can you please put your hand, one hand up, everybody, one hand up? Yes? Get your other hand and point. Who, what, why, when, where, and how. Who, what, why, when, where, and how. You can just use that every day. When someone makes a statement, don't, for 3 days at least, don't be tempted to say, no, but I think. When they make a statement, choose who, what, why, when, where, how. Remember, what does a person love to hear? His own voice. He loves to hear that he's smart. Let the person be wrong. And people are like, why do I want to hear a person is wrong? That's why you say give them their 2 minutes of fame. That's where the 2 minutes came from. Let them say something. And if they're talking too long, just say, wait. Don't tell them they're talking too loud. Just tell them and talking too long. Just tell them, wait, I'm getting lost. Information overload. Make it, right? Don't sound too smart. Say, information overload. And the trick is people say, but how do you broadcasters, how are you able to insert your statement? They're not going to teach this anywhere. They're not teaching it in Toastmasters. Not going to teach it to you. How do you insert your statement? Simple. People have to breathe, you know. You just have to watch the eyes say, the moment they're gonna yada, and the moment they go inhale, boom, you come in with your statement. You come in with your statement and say, yes, that word, yes, that's all they need to know. All that people want is to be validated. Come on, let me ask you, why do we argue? Because it's not that we want to be right. We want people to see that there's value in us, in this person. Back to yes and then be ready with the who, what, why, when, where, how. Think like a 5-year-old. I say this all the time. Remember, just fix your face when you ask. Don't say why or why. The face goes, still. Remember, think like 5-year-old. Why? Give them their 2 minutes of fame. Are you with me so far? Or are you having violent reactions? If you're having violent reactions, you can get some instrument and throw it at the laptop or cell phone screen and I'll get your message, right? There. And when you make your statements, I want you to remember that tone matters. Just think. I can have one sentence in writing, but it's going to mean something else. For example, if the words say, it's okay because you said so, versus if I'm out on a date, I'll go, it's okay because you said so. Eyelash, flutter, flutter, flutter. Or it can be sarcastic. It's okay because you said so. And the face,
Yeah.
oh boy, it doesn't look okay. Or the victim, it's okay because you said so. Same line. I want to encourage you to have more awareness to be more mindful. What is your face saying before your mouth starts talking? Because you can actually ask me. Like when you cook a new dish, and you ask me, how'd you like it? Husbands, boyfriends, you better learn. Fix your face before you answer that. If your sweetie cooked something, fix your face. Say, how'd you like it, honey? If you go, okay, I'm gonna get the pie in your face, right? But get the fork, put it in your mouth, suffer through it, make it look like you're enjoying, saying, it's okay. Or you can say, yes, it's a great idea that you did this, but I think it's me. Here goes. I would like a little bit more off than you say. More sugar, more salt, less salt. But don't start with, oh, this is yucky. Don't ever serve this again. Your heart is gonna put poison in it. Don't do that. So let me ask you now, when you're talking to people, or when you want people to do something, or if you don't like what the person said, I want to go slow now and give you time to breathe. Everybody inhale, exhale, and ask yourself, am I passive, victim style? Am I aggressive? See, boss style? Or am I passive aggressive? It's okay. I mean, you're the one cooking. Notice no eye contact. You're the one cooking. I don't really have a choice. I want you to think about the last time you had a conversation that went the wrong way. What was it you said? But more than what you said. How did you say it? Think about it. Does anyone want with me on the mic? Anyone in the Zoom room? I would love to invite people there on the floor. There's a mic somewhere. Can someone share with me one? Okay, who wants to share?
Hang on, she's taking a breath. Does anybody want to talk to Vivien? I don't have
can talk
on Zoom.
Anyone? Yes, no, it's okay.
Somebody on Zoom would want to talk. Oh, hey, I got. Come on up, CJ.
Hey, let's give CJ a big hand. You can give CJ a big foot. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, I'm gonna give you 45 seconds. Go, and the clock starts now.
What do you enjoy doing on your Saturday evenings?
And how did the conversation go?
Oh, please excuse. I'm supposed to talk about the last time I had a problem. So, recently, actually, I had a discourse with my husband over the way that we were planning our camping trip, and we had a miscommunication.
CJ, what was the statement where you knew it was going down the wrong road? The cameras on the other side. Look to your left. Look to your left. You're looking at this screen. There, I can see your face now. Go. Yes, give me the state. You're going to be showbiz after this. I'm going to teach all of you how to be on TV. What was I need to know, what was the statement where it went south?
Do you want me to suffer on our camping trip or have a good time?
I love it. Thank you, CJ. Thank you. Let's give CJ a big round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. You see, it's funny because we're the ones listening to what she said. But if we were the person there in that time and space, if it was a good day, ha, 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 you're such a clown and comedian. But if it was a bad day, it was the start of a very bad vacation. So you can see a perfect example. What did they say a while ago? I will repeat it again for the second time once more, this time with feeling over and over again. You like that, huh? Do I breathe? I will say it one more time. And you can borrow it, just tell them you heard it from Vivien, if you want to pound it into their heads. I will repeat it again for the second time once more, this time with feeling over and over again. What is it? It's not about you. If you want someone to do something, just think. It's like when you were courting a girl. You would phrase everything to please her. And you were the other person, you would phrase everything to get the same reaction. You know where this is going. We're all nice people, and there are self-included good days and not so good days. And those are the days where situations like this can happen. But if there's only one thing I can help you remember, it's a question you will always ask yourself, which I learned. Remember, I wasn't born bright. If I sound bright and they made me keynote speaker, it's because I've been not so bright for more times, except I documented the blooper and found ways to undo. Right? Always think, would I like to hear what I'm about to say? If you want to have happier days, what you want to do is challenge the mind, touch the heart, and tickle the funny bone. That's why my slogan is, be entertained as you get informed. I'm an educator. Way back in 2001, even before I became a Toastmaster, I've been giving talks in 12 countries and 4 languages. Everybody, hear this, in the room, everywhere I met, was bigger, better, brighter, and smarter than me. Contrary to the belief that the speaker should be the biggest and the bestest in the room. But my role was to share stories like this of how and why things go wrong in hospital management, in forensic toxicology, in infection control, in laboratory standards, in classroom management with disruptive kids. I didn't have to be smart. I just helped them remember all the time. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. And as the saying goes, if you put yourself in the other person's shoes and then live to walk away, you will have many shoes and you will be barefoot forever. Gotcha. Gotcha. But you know what I'm saying, right? You don't want to win. You want to let them think and believe that they're winning. People, you know this. Come on, you know this. People don't care how much you know. People just want to know how much you care. Hit them with the yes and. Give them the right body language, facial expression. Give them the right tone. And don't use jargon. Don't use long words. Just think, how would I feel if I was the other person? Am I making sense so far? You can put your hands up so I know. And you can do this. If you don't like me and tell me to go away, right? So, question, I will take questions because this is how conversations go, not a classroom Q&A. I want to help you learn how to have, I want to give these talks to District 63, social graces. how to get invited to more luncheons, dinners, have more activities with the people in your community. And if you're at work, more opportunities to get what? A better job or an increase in your pay. Ask me anything that you'd like me to help you with. But remember, a question has a subject, a verb, a predicate, and a question mark at the end. I have had people.
So you don't want statements that just say we don't agree with what you're saying.
It's okay with me too.
I've got a question.
Huh? What?
I've got a question for you. So you mentioned that body language accounts for 55% of your communication. So your body language talks before you do. What
Yeah.
type of tips do you have for us to be able to portray a positive image with our body language before we start speaking?
Oh my goodness gracious. Let me tell all of you. See, I see people in Zoom. I wish the rest of you had your, I'm surprised, okay. I wish more of you had your videos on and gallery, all right? And I see most of you in the room. And when you're the speaker or you will stand up to ask a question, I want you to know that people see your body language long before you start talking. They saw you from the time you entered the room. And heaven help you if you got into an argument with one of them where it's called parking lot. Imagine having an argument at the parking lot and finding out like, wow, that's the person seated beside me. So that's my answer to you. That is my tip. If you're going anywhere to do anything with strangers, the moment you leave your house, the camera's on because you don't know who you're going to run into. And I'm looking at you, you're looking at me. You notice I can do this forever and look like this. First trick ever is, watch this. Don't slouch. Notice it makes you weak. And please, I don't agree with what people say. Move to, see, that's annoying. The trick is, you see this on TV? Remember, by the way, when you're on Zoom, you're on TV. When you're on Zoom, you are on TV. And when you're in the room, you're on CCTV. You're just on TV all the time, people, right? So I'm going to show you in the real world what you see on the screen is a reflection of what life's really like. When you're talking to somebody, do you say, wait, you know? No, you just move. Watch. See where I am right now? I'll give you a demo. I would like to share the story with you. I only moved 3 inches. I would like, notice, conspiratorial. You know what? Versus, you know what? I have such violent reactions when I see that. Please, 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 I beg of you, don't do that. You just go a little bit closer. Notice A, little bit closer. Because what I see is the whole face on the screen. And for people from my side of the world, you guys have beautiful noses. We don't. And I tell them, don't get too close to the screen because we see more of the holes of your nose than your nose. Seriously, it's really a bad idea. Okay, can we all practice now? For those of you I can see on screen, can you show me? It's called projection. 3 inches forward to make a stand. Okay. Notice the body just pivots. Notice, watch. The spine stays straight and I move. Now, if you want to be more friendly, you angle it and then angle. Don't you think so? That moves to a higher level. It's called charming, right? Again. See, I can say, Don't you think so? Or don't you think so? Or don't you think so? Or before I say anything, I just look here, twist, look and say, don't you think so? And I pause. 6 of the trade. I can tell you more, but you might kick me out. Curtis, did I answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. Did we have any other questions for Vivien before we let her go? Please.
Yes. Put your mic on.
That's okay. Yeah.
Hi,
yeah.
Vivien. Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Yes. That scarf brings out your features fabulously. Why did you make that choice today?
You're talking about this?
Yes.
All right. When people, it's a conversation piece. Well, thank you very much. I hope it does the trick. First things first, I only own one style of clothes. It's called a baby tee in black. It's the same baby tee. Long before Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg thought of wearing the same thing every day, I'm a girl who has strange fashion sense. I only have black baby tees and dozens and dozens and dozens of scarves and shawls. Now, why did I wear this today? I was hoping people like you would ask. Because the shade, you know, where boys only know red, blue, green. But we girls, we know shades. So sorry, guys. This is for Sharon. Sharon, because it gives me the opportunity to tell you that it's a shade of purple passion. That's all. It just gives me an opportunity to laugh. Sharon, put your mic on. See, that's the many reasons to wear what you wear. So, but you asked me about the shade? Yes. Seriously, for everybody, know your skin tone. There are some colors that are not good on me. Like you can see, I'm very pale. And I know it's strange because on this side of the world, they don't usually look like me, right? I'm very pale. So I stay away from beige. I stay away from cream. I stay away from lime green. I just fade. I look so washed out. And then you just see eyeglasses and hair. And you can't see the rest of me. So look and find out.
Can I stop? We've got one more question for you.
Okay, go. Oh, question. I love questions. Thank you, Sharon, for the question. Love you, love you, love you. Yes.
Hi, Vivien. You had wonderful advice. I've taken lots of notes. Are there any different considerations for different kinds of audience? For example, our children, our boss or elders, and our peers or spouses, like those kind of 3 categories. Would you do anything different?
I love your question. What's your name? Oh, I didn't get your name. What's your name? What's your name?
I'm Elizabeth Ike, EK.
Okay, Elizabeth, there you go. So on record, shout out. Thank you, Elizabeth. Stay there, stay on cam. Okay, say hello, Elizabeth, stay on cam so I can see you. Where are you? Okay, you'll enjoy this. I do storytelling. I do storytelling for preschoolers. What should you do? I said it a while ago, and you plant it in your mind. Were you born the age you are today, or were you a kid once upon a time? The answer is, you were a kid once upon a time. You should see me. I have wonderful conversations when I go to the park with babies. I'm able to make them stop crying. With the ones who are 3, 4, 5 years old, like, wow, I'm some sort of goddess, because I tell them silly stories.
Humble. She's humble
And,
too.
and the best part is, you're gonna love this. It's true. I'm great with dogs. I'm able to make them stop barking because I bark louder than them. Dogs, no kidding. And when you talk to older people, remember, my dear, older people are nothing but children who added years, because the emotions will always be the same. We all have basically the same human emotions. But just give them a little, what I call, an imaginary title, right? Like, sir, ma'am, whatever. Give them sort of a little crown especially the boss, so they don't feel disrespected. Give me a question you'd like me to answer. I don't mind. Like for your boss, give me a situation.
He doesn't like it when I ask him why. He says I'm challenging. But I am a curious by nature person. So how do I reframe that in a way that lets him win, as you said?
All right. I love your question because my mom used to nail me for that all the time. When I love you. No kidding. The universe delivered you. I will share with you. 3rd grade, I asked my mom, Mom, why are people born? They're going to die anyway. My mom was like, have you taken your shower? That's like your boss, see? So what happens if you want to ask why? You will say, this is what I did, and that I understand I'm supposed to accomplish that. So point A is what you're doing. Point B is what he wants you to do. And then you tell him, I seem to keep getting lost in time and space in my desire, endeavor, whatever, to deliver on time, point B. What is it I'm missing out on, Mr. Boss? Or what is it I'm overdoing that's irrelevant? A little humility goes a long way. And then icing on the cake is, I know you're the expert, and I hope one day I can at least be 10% of what you are and who you are today.
Oh, no. No, it's not gonna work.
Okay, tell me why it's not gonna work. No kidding. Tell me why it's not gonna work.
Thank you, Vivien. We're running out of time, so I think we're gonna have to wrap up. So thank you for your time today. Outstanding.
Okay, let me go and give you my closing message. I hope you realize what I did to, for, and with you today. My slogan, be entertained as you get informed. If you use that formula, you will get what you want while making people think that they got what they wanted.
I love it.
Be entertained as you get informed. Use candid conversations. This is Vivien from halfway around the world saying, I love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Thank you, Vivien. Thank you.